Hello racing fans, and a warm welcome to Trackside, proudly brought to you by World Sports Betting. Bet with the best. Bet with WSB, a leader in the fixed odds betting market and number one in the anti-post betting market. What's happening this weekend? Well, local racing is a double header. On Saturday it's Turpentine and Durbanville, and then on Sunday it's Scottsville. For Trackside, I've done a treble for this weekend, and I've picked out two horses at Turpentine and one horse at Scottsville. And then what we've decided to do, there have been a few requests that maybe a pick six guide for the guys, and I've chosen the pick six at Scottsville. So we'll give you the numbers for that perm. You can use it as a skeleton perm, you can add your numbers to it, but we will give that perm towards the end of the show after we've done with the treble. Okay, let's begin with the treble. I mentioned two horses at Turpentine, and the first will begin in race number 6, and we're going with a class here. This is a Pinnacle Stakes over 1450 meters, and I think for most punters the obvious horse when they have a look at race number 6 will no doubt be MK's Pride from the Paul Peters stable. And on Trackside, we're in agreement. It's been an absolute joy and an absolute pleasure for his owner, Mr. Nkale, the way he's raced throughout his career. He's just got a solid record, 12 starts, 5 wins, 7 places. And if he wins this, well, he'll be the next equine millionaire, because he's sitting on just over 945,000 Rand, and that will take him close to being an equine millionaire, because I see the first stake check is 51,000. So MK's Pride, his profile, when you have a look at his race career thus far, it just stands out. He's got scalps of 2 big horses when he's won as well. War of Athena in the Ready to Run race, and of course got the green light in the Hawaii Stakes. So yeah, he's always been a horse that just gives off his best, solid when he comes to the track. And his last 3 starts, he's been in some competitive racing, some big battles, but he's given a superb account of himself. Golden Horse Casino Sprint, he was third behind Battle Force. There were excuses that day as well. His penultimate start, he ran an absolute blinder in the Post Merchants behind Casimir, and then he rounded off his season, that was last season, in the Mercury Sprint, where he ran close up behind Pearl of Asia. So the form is clear to see. He's unbeaten over the course and distance, and he's got a jockey that obviously gets on best with him. He hasn't been off for too long. It's 42 days after his last start, which was back in July. Of course, it was the last day of the season, and this 1450, although it's tight, it's very tight in the best weighted column if you have a look at that, but in the small field he's just a clear standout in black and white, and I think he'll be a popular choice amongst many as a banker bet and one to include in your all-to-comes. And on Trackside, we give him the green light, we give him the seal of approval here, number 2, MK's Pride. Our next horse will come up in the next race at Turpentine. It's race number 7. And this filly is called Under Your Spell. She's a daughter of Cape Town. Now, look at her record as a juvenile. 5 runs, 4 wins. Now, her wins include the listed Ruffian Stakes, the Grade 3 Proteus Stakes, and then she rounded that off with a superb performance, a performance of a career thus far. That was in the Grade 1 Allen Robertson at Scottsville, and that day she won, beating Sounds of Warning. Now, Lyle Houston will partner her, and it's straight into a 1450. They're not wasting time with this filly, bringing her over sprint tip. She's been racing over sprints thus far in her career, but it's straight into a 1450. And I looked up her pedigree. Well, she's related to Witchcraft, who I think won the Track and Ball Oaks. In Cahoots stays 14750. Don Vito gets a mile. Psychic gets 2,000 meters. So, while she's been super impressive over the sprint distance, she's actually going to get better and stronger and will appreciate further in her career. So 14.50 is actually going to suit her much better. Just the way she travels in her races. I remember, most of her wins, but the one that stands out, that Group 1 Allen Robertson, the way she travels in a race, and when asked for an effort, she makes up the ground effortlessly, this filly. So she's going to love the step up in distance, and all she needs to do is just pick up from where she left off last time out. Just continue that 2-year-old form, and you think that her first run in open company, her class will pull her through here. That's race 7, number 4, Under Your Spell. And then where do we close off this treble? Well, it's at Scottsville on Sunday, and it's all the way to race number 7. Yes, it is race number 7. It's a 1200-meter race. It's a D division handicap, a merit weight. It's 77 for the fillies and mares. And last time out, I went for this filly. She was at generous odds, big price of 10-1, and she did everything but win. She just found one better on the day, and she was beaten by a mare that was of the right mark. She was coming down steadily in the ratings on the guard puller yard, and it looked to be her time. And this filly was certainly not disgraced. She was only beaten a length by Traveling Light. She was given a half a kg, a pound for that run of a 73, but let's not forget that she's also come right down in the ratings. At her best, she was a 90. She's off a 73. And whilst, she's up in weight, she carried 53 and a half last time out, she's now down in class. And Muzi Yeni got a good feel for her. He partnered her for the first time at her last start. And you think that now that he knows the filly, her course and distance record is solid. 3 runs, a win, a second, and a third. So number 10, Savstar, is a filly, and I really like in race number 7, and she's going to be the play of the day at Scottsville. So that's going to be the treble. It is race number 6 at Turpentine MK's Pride, race 7 Under Your Spell at Turpentine, and we round that off in race number 7, Savstar. Now I promised, or I told you that we're going to do a pick 6 as well, and that pick 6 I've chosen comes up at Scottsville on Sunday, and it'll be starting in race number 3. So look sharp. You don't want to be caught napping. The time to jot down there will be 13:40, 20-2, and this is how we're going to play the pick 6. Take note, we're going to give you the numbers. This show is recorded earlier, so keep an eye out for scratchings. It could reduce your perm as well. Okay, the first leg of the pick 6 over 1200 meters, I've gone with 2, 4, 5 runners, and I think everything will point to this first timer called Venerable from the stable of Gavin Van Zyl, because when you have a look at the race runners, the horses that represent some form, there's nothing that jumps out of the page. So we could double up here, because this horse Venerable for the Van Zyls is priced up at favorite. I had a quick look at the betting before we began this show, and the top one is a first timer. So what I've done in the first leg is I've included 1, 2, 7, 11 and 14. 1, 2, 7, 11 and 14, and the first timer wins and one of our race runners run second, then we are going to double up in this pick 6. So 1, 2, 7, 11 and 14 will be leg number 1. Leg number 2, I made it a 2-horse race. I know many will be leaning towards Shavut as a possible banker for MJ Odendaal and Marco van Rensburg, but I've included backup, and that's going to be my top choice as well. Number 8, Time Taker. The form line of the last start is looking very good when second behind Love the View, and I just feel that this horse, Time Taker, is now in good form after putting some runs, 4 runs behind him. I think he's a massive danger to horse number 3, Shavut. So we've gone 3 and 8 there in leg number 4. Race number 5, I've included 4 horses, and all this is in numerical order. The value for me is horse number 1, Teichman, but we're going to go Teichman number 1, 3, The Bayou, 5, Love the View, and horse number 9, Walton Hall. So 1, 3, 5 and 9. We then move along to race number 6, and I've included 4 horses here as well. Maiden Sprayer number 1, Horse number 2 is Tango Time. Then we move on to horse number 5, Star Choice. Well, if she races, she did race midweek. She ran a good second behind Another Love. If she does race on a Sunday, I think she has to come into the reckoning with a massive chance. And then horse number 9 I've included as well. Sorry, 1, 2, 5, and 7. And horse number 7 being Kumazi for Snake and Rachel Vinegar. And then our banker in race number 7, which we touched on trackside treble, that will be Sav Star, horse number 10. And are we closing off this Big 6? If we're going, well, thus far it's costing us 160 Rand. So we can include 5 horses in the last leg. 5, 7, 10, 12, and 13. 5 being High Velocity, 7 being Gimme a Rainbow, 10 is Kimura, 12 is Lunacam, and then we round that off with number 13, So Var. So we'll recap on all the bets for the weekend. Firstly with the trackside treble, race 6, MK's Pride, race 7, Under Your Spell, both at Turpentine, race number 7, Sav Star at Scottsville, and then we got a pick 6 at Scottsville. We're going to recap on those numbers: 1, 2, 7, 11, and 14, by 3 and 8, by 1, 3, 5, and 9, by 1, 2, 5, and 7, by 10 a banker, by 5, 7, 10, 12, and 13, and that spend there will be 800 Rand. Of course, you can play a percentage. And that's a wrap of our weekend show. I wish you all the best. Have a fabulous weekend. Find all the winners, and on behalf of World Sports Betting, thanks to all the punters, but more importantly and more especially thanks to you, the valued customer, for your support. Until next week, you take care. Salani Gashle.